The 1975 Malaysia, that is the current hoo-ha that's going on here in Malaysia. Of course, for those of you who don't know yet, the 1975, they recently were supposed to, well, they carried out
Yes,
a concert.
yes. They performed and they left a mess, a huge mess that which helps us amplify one of the mountains and how important it is. Now, but before we go there, let me address yesterday's kerfuffle, if I can use that word, kerfuffle. I was live yesterday, and I was using my own devices, and I do not know what happened. And the funny part about what I was addressing was most of the time when it comes to getting started, everyone has a fear, and the fear stops you from doing things. And instantly, and I was speaking about failure, there was failure. So there you go. I'm not afraid. I'm back. Let's discuss.
Let's discuss. Yeah.
Let's discuss.
Yep. So even with 17 years in the radio industry, you still have kerfuffles as well.
Listen. Life is such there's a saying that expect everything that to go wrong to go wrong go wrong, or something like that. It did. All right, so anyway, let's get back to the topic of the day.
Yep. So we're talking about the 1975 in Malaysia with the Good Vibes Festival. So basically, there was a big hoo-ha over there. Y'all can check out the news, and then let me share with you. All right, for those of you who don't know about it yet, exactly what happened. I'm also going to share with you how is it that we are able to leverage off current affairs to be
Correct.
able to amplify our message and to be able to share with people, our beliefs, right?
Yes.
So as you can see over here, I actually use an AI generation Mid Journey to create this image of Matty Healy, which is the lead singer and the star of this whole kerfuffle in the 1975. And then I wrote my thoughts about the event. So it's essentially covering at the end of the day, when you've got a message to share
Yeah.
to the world,
Yeah.
you need to know the right platform to share it and
Correct.
how to share it.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
The problem with how the 1975 handled the situation is that there was already a prior agreement on the do's and don'ts.
Correct.
Right. There was
Correct.
already assurances, and then yet they went on and did what they did.
Exactly. And the reason why we're bringing it up is just to highlight that because of one person's action, or a group, that small group, the amount of people that was affected by it. All right, we're not just talking about the other entertainers. We're talking about people who spend money to go for the event. You're talking about the booked hotels, the food vendors. There's so many people who is affected by one person's action. In other words, a butterfly effect. One person wanted to prove a point, and he did what he did, and because of that small action, he I look, I'm the type of person who always believes that everybody in their right mind thought they were doing the right thing. Okay, and in his mind, he's fighting for a right, and I'm trying to make my voice heard. But you did not take into account your actions and what your actions can do that will affect everyone else. So that's the big thing when it comes to the arts, entertainment, and media. And that's why if you look at arts and entertainment, there's movies and stuff that address all minute, all different kinds of emotions and stuff like that. So yeah, but 1975.
Hmm. So how is it that you personally find and strike that balance when it comes to, you know, being a media
Right.
personality, right?
Right.
Where do you maintain your boundaries when it comes to sharing the message that you feel is important
Right.
to be heard,
Right.
and you know when to share it and how to share it?
I'm going to use 1975 as an example, all right? The 1975, if they went up there and made a statement, it still would have got backlash. It would still have had people say, oh my God, I don't believe he said that. That's so evil. How could you? You know, all that. But it'll just be that. It'll just be that. And then the funny part about when doing that is then you start conversations. The conversation will be, what do you think about the statement he made? And then people will be, oh, I agree or disagree. Why? And then it just, the effect of it, it grows and grows. It's from one small action of someone saying, this is what I believe in, up to you. You choose what you want, but this is what I believe in. People can be upset, people can agree. That's how it works, all right? But after that, it sparks conversation. And conversation is the one that can move politics, it can move communities, it can grow so many things, all right? So that little action that he does, if he just said the words, it would have been different. But he had to go on further and insult, because just words, there's no insult there. It's just he's speaking his mind. But when you do the action and force it down onto someone's face, that's the problem. Now, for radio, long time ago, you asked me about radio. I believe I worked on this thing called parents in the car. Sorry, children in the car or your parents in the car. Okay, so if you're in the car and you say something, and if the child turns to the parent and go, what does he mean by that? You're in trouble. If a parent driving and the kid's laughing and the parent go, why are you laughing? You're in trouble. As long as there's underlining meanings that could cause discomfort to someone else to explain it, you're in trouble. As simple as that. So when you want to put in phrases and words and how you use it, you have to have in mind that it give them leeway so that they can explain themselves out of it without being too uncomfortable with it. Do you understand?
Mhm.
And if you look at what I did in radio before, if you have the privilege of going back into time, you'll hear that when I spoke on radio, there was always double meaning to what I say.
Mm.
So a certain group of people will get one joke, another group will get another joke, and everybody's happy. But it takes more work. It's not
Mm.
as easy as, hey, I'm just going to go out and just do it. So it takes a lot of thinking, planning, sound effects, little things like that.
So it's kind of like those animations from Pixar where you have to entertain the adults, and then at the same time, your primary audience is entertaining the kids.
Correct. Because as an adult, you go and watch some Pixar animations and you go, okay. But kids don't get it. So, and it's safe and no one's hurt.
Mm.
Everyone's entertained. So that's the funny part about entertainment. So when we're focusing on 1975, if they believe in their cause, whatever they thought, then do it respectfully. Whatever cause, whatever you want to push, do it respectfully. You know, if you look at, I'm going to bring up Michelle Obama. So
Mm.
if it's a divide, if it's a person that you disagree with, I'm okay with that. But she always says, be higher. Uh,
Take the high road.
take the high road.
Mhm.
Don't go down to that. Just because they are doing that doesn't mean you have to do that. You know what I mean? So when it comes to messaging and what you want to spread to the world, you have to take that into account all the time. Because if you're abrasive, someone that you hope who's not your ally and you hope to become your ally will never be your ally. But if you're more welcoming in your messaging and structured your messaging in a more welcome way, like, this is my opinion, but I'm willing to hear what you say, then we have a conversation.
Mm.
And that's the important thing. They did not give an opportunity to anybody because of the drama.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's my opinion. I know a lot of people like, I don't know.
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
Yeah. So the reason why we're talking about the 1975 and the arts and entertainment industry is because we are running an event called the Seven Mountains happening this weekend, and we would like to invite you to explore the seven mountains of influence to see and understand such as situations that happens in the arts and entertainment
Yep,
industry, how it can create a wider ripple effect
correct.
within our society. So, head on over to bit.ly/seven mountains sponsored to get your sponsored tickets over
Correct.
here.
Correct.
And, talking about conversations, right now the conversation is very heated up here in Malaysia with the whole situation, with all of the stakeholders all riled up. And right now there's the idea of having a class action lawsuit, right?
I think it's fair.
Yeah, if you were 1975,
Yep.
what would you do to be able to manage this situation?
Manage. I don't think you can manage.
Hmm.
There's only one option left to realize where you went wrong. I'm not saying don't, if you have a belief that you want people to follow suit, I'm not saying uh, uh, give up on that. All right. I'm saying if you have that belief, you want to believe, cool. But you have to take ownership of your actions. Your actions was not right because, like people say, when in Rome, you know what I mean. You were given um, the guidelines of what you can and cannot do. You agreed to it. To on I'm very sure there's a document that you signed saying yes, I would adhere to the rules and I will perform accordingly, and all that. So you already made a promise. It's like a marriage. You go, yeah, faithful for it, then you just on the side, and then it's like, why? Because I felt like it. You can't do that. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So the only action they can do is realize, take ownership on the mistake that they did, not the message. You can say, look, I still believe in that message. I'm okay with that. All right. Because that's the message you want. I still believe in the message, but maybe the way I conveyed that message, the way, the actions that I did embarrassed some people and caused harm to a lot of people. Because, like, when we talk about seven mountains, one big thing for me, people, if you do believe that the seven mountains are silos. In other words, each mountain stands alone. Then you are in trouble. Because the reason why we're addressing the seven mountains together is to highlight each mountain and also the potential of how each mountain intersects. Each mountain affects the other. Like, this is arts and entertainment. The 1975 was arts and entertainment. The arts and entertainment's action caused politics to get involved, caused business and economy to get involved, caused social structures to get involved, spiritual, family, everything was
Mhm, mhm.
within that one action. I know it's a negative action. Imagine that one action was a positive action. It's the same ripple effect that can happen. It's just teaching people. That's what we're going to do this weekend, is teach you all the little tools that you can apply in life to help your message ripple into something bigger.
Hmm, hmm. Yeah. So, one of the things that you've previously shared in our conversations is that negativity tends to travel faster than positivity,
Oh yes.
right?
Oh yes.
So, how would you uh, do you see the potential to
Well,
shift this negativity into positivity so that it can travel at a similar or better speed?
okay. That can only happen once society changes.
Hmm,
So that's another thing that we're going to discuss at Seven Mountains, family, community, and stuff like that. Once the community, you build a community on positive values. Now, within that community of positive values, you'll find other communities with positive values, and then that community grows into a movement. From a movement, you can grow into a bigger thing, and then changes can be made. But it cannot start with the top. You got to start with yourself. Stop searching for anger. Each and
Mm.
every one of you can change the algorithms, because at the moment the algorithms realize a lot of people are searching for the angry side of this comment
Mhm.
of 1975. How about you search for the discussion of the aspects of it, like what we're doing here?
Mhm. Mhm.
Spread this, share this with your friend, tell them like what you think. Do you agree with the comments these guys are saying? Are they just, totally off the mark? We would love to hear as well. As soon as you put it in the comments, it helps us grow. I always believe our points of view is just like a knife. Every time we discuss it, we sharpen our point of view. We'll get rid of things that maybe we were wrong, or maybe we weren't so clear of, but it causes discussion. So yeah. So yeah, yeah, yeah. That's it. Sorry, yeah. This is something
You
very
very
passionate because
passionate.
uh, we've been in Malaysia, been trying to say this is a cool place, come perform here. Then just a few months ago, there was a big drama about wow, Coldplay going 6 times to Singapore, only 1 time Malaysia. There was another drama
Mm.
about that. It's just how can they? It's unfair, blah 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 blah. Then something like this happens,
Mm.
and
Mm.
then the whole discussion goes haywire. And I do not blame the people in charge. I'm talking about people involved in politics to handle this, because you have to realize there's two sides to it. There are people who, oh, what's so wrong about that? But there are people who are total opposites of that. And you have to be able to allow everybody to have slight peace of mind, kinda. So yeah, it was a big discussion about that. And I don't know lah. It's crazy lah. I'm like controlling and
Mhm.
just trying controlling myself here. I'm
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So if you were to be able to advise the government,
Uh-huh.
right, in how they should respond towards this incident, and carry shape the narrative.
Shape the narrative.
Mm.
Well, see, the problem is everyone sees what happened in their own point of view,
Mm.
because you don't understand the other person's
Mm.
point of view. So at the moment, see, all of us tend to like just be very forceful on our point of view in life. I don't care what you think.
Mm.
This is wrong, blah 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 blah, or this is right, blah 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 blah. Try understand the other side of it.
Mm.
Okay, when it comes to the government, why they had to close the whole thing? Why didn't they arrest the artists?
Mm.
Why? You have to realize, like we're talking about the butterfly effect. Every action has consequences that can grow, and the consequence at the end of the day, the government has to look at the end game. If this happens and this just blooms into something out of control and you cannot control it at this point, then everyone loses. So you might as well try and control it here and take the bullet here and there, bite the bullet, people say, on certain aspects. So if I want to advise the government, is just explain clearly your actions. People are going to disagree with it. Some people are going to call it fake. Some people are going to say, "Ah lah, just cover line lah. That's why you're doing that." But explain your actions. I know, but because if you explain your actions, you will not have people say, "Wow, you're so arrogant. You don't tell me why your action is." So as soon as you do that, at least there's a bit of being humble. Like, look, the reason why we understand why everyone's angry, but this is the reason why. That what could have happened if we did that. So let that narrative be out there, not just the negative narratives. Because now what's happening if you just mum and quiet and hope it disappears is negative narrations was going to come out. So you
Mm.
got to get ahead of the narration so that people understand your point of view as well. So that at least that part is out there rather than you just quiet and everyone just creating all kinds of crazy things. So yeah,
So take control of the narrative is your advice,
yep,
right? And then what about those people who say, hey, just weather it out, wait for the next news cycle.
no such thing. Okay, the new cycle is coming.
Hmm.
The new cycle is coming, but doesn't mean if you do not address this cycle, it will not pop up in the future to bite you.
Mm.
You have to realize that if you have not put out something that settles this, it will come bite you in the future. It
Mm.
might not bite you now, but it will catch up. And then it will catch you in a moment that you are not expecting it. And because there's no explanation out there, it's harder for you to explain why you did it, because people were like, but why you didn't explain back then? Do you understand? So
Mhm.
just get the narration out there. At least there is an explanation for people to understand.
Hmm. And what if people are expecting like a very strong emotional response rather than a calm, logical,
Oh,
rational
this
response?
is the other side of the extreme coin. Okay, if you're expecting that by the explanation of what, look, this is my layman understanding of it. All right, we are a country, we deal with import export. That's part of
Mm,
our GDP. All right. We cannot say, nah, lah, we can just live with just ourselves. We don't have enough population to live with ourselves. We need import and export. Now, just one action by, say, arresting them. And this is my opinion. It doesn't have anyone. Say you arrest them. That action will involve diplomats ready. Then it gets bigger than just a domestic issue. When it gets bigger than the domestic issue, that would involve companies from those countries having to make a stand whether they agree or disagree. That cause problems in the GDP. It becomes bigger, and then and at the end of the day affects your wallet as well. So it's a bigger picture. There's no right and wrong, but you have to see the bigger picture and
mm.
understand the rights, the bad, the good, and stuff like that. Whoa, we've got people saying, "I apologize for joining." Hey, I can't see. I need my glasses. I'm old. It's a bit
Yeah,
too far.
yeah. So I think in a nutshell, essentially what's important is to be able to uh instead of just first order thinking,
Yep,
meaning that we only think, okay, if I do this action, then what's to come, is to think beyond that,
you have
right?
to.
Yeah, going to second order, third order, and beyond. What is that ripple effect? And it's a tough situation, right?
Yep.
To for the governing bodies, and then I guess for the organizers as well. They were rolling the dice a bit. They were rolling the dice.
I pity everyone involved, because just one person's action caused so many people grief. Dustin, thank you so much for your comment, and we like it. His comment is very interesting there.
Yeah. So to share, okay, Dustin is sharing, while it was regarded as a decision that led to repercussions and impact, the lawmakers had to place a firm hand decisively and swiftly to reaffirm our stance as a nation,
Yep,
especially an international matter, right? It's imperative for us to take
correct.
the course of action.
Correct. So the like I said at the start of this, if you're just joining us, don't forget to join us. I mean, watch this again from the start so that you understand our points of view. Don't take us out of context. Okay, it's very important. And the main reason we're here is to teach you about how to word things and make sure your context is right. That's why we have the Seven Mountains happening this weekend. So you can there's lots to take away from it. But context is very important. Once again, go watch from the start and then understand where we're coming from. So, well, I do agree what the government had to do. Like earlier we said, if they just made a statement and did nothing else, it would have just been hot air anger from people who disagree with the statement. But that's it.
Hmm.
Nothing more than that.
Hmm.
But they had to take it 5 steps further. So, yeah.
So it is what it is. So so we'll be monitoring to see how these unfolds, and we'll be carrying out many more of these live stream
Yep.
sessions, right?
Yep.
If you love our discussions and would like us to cover more topics, share with us within the chats in our comment section. We are looking to do this more regularly, and as you can see, for those of you who have been following us, we are setting up a brand new studio over
Kinda.
here,
Yeah, yeah.
kinda.
We're building. We're
We're
building.
building. We're
It's like
building.
work in progress.
Yeah.
But most importantly, we we're trying to invite everyone in. And when I'm talking about invite everyone in, see, one of the things my father taught me was knowledge is useless unless you share it.
Mm.
So that's why the Seven Mountains having this weekend is free, sponsored for you. We believe in the impact that we all can do. All of us who are speaking that day believe in the impact that you can do in this world. So what we want to provide you are the tools to make sure your message doesn't end up like the 1975.
In a nutshell.
In a nutshell.
Yeah. And I think it's also important, to understand that no matter who we are, in our lives right now, we have a message to share.
Yep.
Right. The question is, what is your message to share? How do you find it? How do you refine it and amplify it to a wider audience? Right. To create that change and to realize that vision that you see in your world. Because I believe within every single one of us, we do have the vision of a better world.
Correct.
If only we had the courage, the ability, the know-how to communicate it, to bring the right people together, and to effect that change that we want to see in our world.
100% agree with you. And I believe fear and knowledge works in opposites. The more you're afraid of something, it's because you have the least amount of knowledge in that subject. So gain the knowledge that we're going to give you at Seven Mountains, so that the fear of spreading your message drops, and you can spread your message.
Yep. So learn to discover your message and spread your message at our Seven Mountains event. The link is on the screen right now, bit.ly/Seven Mountains sponsored. The link is also in the description of this video. The event is happening very, very soon. It's a 3-day event where not only do you have myself and JJ, we
Yep.
also do have other experts on the panel, including someone who has worked with virtually all of the prime ministers of Malaysia,
Correct.
except for our current one.
Yes.
And we are in the process on working on that. As well.
Correct.
So we'll
Correct.
see.
So besides just, don't be stingy with knowledge. So don't just keep this link for yourself, share it with your friends as well. Everyone that you believe that will benefit from the Seven Mountains, please share it with them, because we want to see you there. We want to share our knowledge, and we want you to grow as well. Together we'll grow. All right, and we'll reach the summit. Chewa.
It's
That's just me being very
extra. Okay, with that, I'll look forward to seeing all of you, hopefully,
Yep.
at the Seven Mountains event. Thank you and